We just got our biggest update yet for the LEGO Star Wars Summer 2022 wave. Hey guys, so today is a big day for LEGO Star Wars fans. We just got full descriptions for all the Summer 2022 sets, and we also know pretty much all the minifigures included. Also quickly state now that this video is still a news video, not a big recap video, so expect the editing quality to be quite low. I'm trying to get this out quickly because it is news. And this is for basically all the sets, so I think we might as well just get into it. This is all coming from promobricks, so all the images I have are from their Instagram. This is their posts, but there is additional information in the article which I will be reading to you. First up is set 75323, the Justifier, with 1022 pieces retailing for $160 and coming out on August 1st. Now I'll just talk about the figures first because you can see them there. So of course Cad Bane is included, Todo 360 will be included, which is great. He is said to have a new mold. Omega is included for the first time, which is great. Hunter is also included, which doesn't really fit the scene, but it does make sense. And then Fennec Shand, who I presume will have her helmet. In addition, they do say that despite previous rumors, no Kaminoans will be included in the set, which is pretty disappointing, but I guess you can kind of think at least we are getting Torn Way. But you know, Torn Way in this set would have also been nice because 5 minifigures in a $160 set is pretty low. We usually get 6, and especially Todo 360 doesn't really count as a minifigure. In terms of the build of the set, it's meant to be huge. It's meant to be on par with the Playscale Millennium Falcon and the Light Cruiser, which are both massive sets, so this is great. Still really unexpected. I still honestly can't believe it until I'll see it. But you know, $160 for a Bad Batch set is pretty insane. They also confirmed that the set will have that movable wing for landing mode, which of course was pretty much predicted, and then the set will also include some interior space. However, they don't have any information on what it would be. I would just presume like the cockpit area and then Omega's jail cell, otherwise I can't really see anything. Now they give a slight update on the MBS set. We still don't know confirmed what it is, however they do say that one of their sources did say that a UCS Razor Crest is coming, and of course they did refer to Republic Studs, who originally put out the rumor of the UCS Razor Crest, as obviously that is the biggest rumor out there for now, and I've barely talked about it on the channel, but I should be doing a video soon about it, just because it seems like it's worth talking about. For a much less exciting set, this is set 75332, the 4+ ATST, with 87 pieces retailing for $30 USD. So I'll talk about the figures first again, but 3 minifigures are meant to be included, being Wicket, a Scout Trooper, and an ATST driver. So decent selection. I don't think that'll be any exclusive figures, but you know, it's fine. If someone doesn't have a Scout Trooper by now or a Wicket, they can definitely pick up this set. So it seems like it will be slightly interesting on the figures side of things. In terms of the build, it is set to of course include some massive molding, including the legs from the Cyclops chase set, which is a Lightyear set, and a lot of people did actually predict this when they saw it, because they do seem to fit obviously just a 4+ ATST, not a normal one. But interestingly to me, 2 other side builds are included, being a tree with a catapult and a speeder bike. So nothing major there, but it is kind of interesting that they are of course including more in there. Now we have seen a 4+ speeder bike before in the Snow Speeder set, so I presume it'll be something like that, and then the tree is probably just going to be nothing. While I guess this set is slightly surprising and slightly more interesting than other 4+ sets, I still have pretty much no interest in this. To a way more interesting set, this is set 75333, Obi-Wan Kenobi's Jedi Starfighter, with 282 pieces retailing for $30 USD and releasing August 1st. Now this set is based off Attack of the Clones, and therefore the minifigures are of course Obi-Wan Kenobi. However, this will be a new one with printed robes, which is great. Ever since I saw that version in the Skywalker Saga, I wanted it as a minifigure, and it appears we'll get something similar. I don't think it'll be the exact same minifigure, but something similar nonetheless. R4P17 is also included, which was pretty obvious, and then Torn Way. Now it won't be a mini doll, it will be a minifigure. It also includes like that skirt piece, not like a cloth piece, but like the one that Princess Leia has. So that kind of sloped thing, which obviously makes sense. New Kaminoan headpiece is said to be a dual molded piece with the long neck and of course just the head, and it will just be attached like a regular head onto a torso. Build-wise, it's meant to look very similar to the one from 2017. That's the one that was in the Hyperdrive Ring set, and obviously the Hyperdrive Ring isn't included in the set, but of course you could detach it. Other than that, the only thing we know about the build is that it will come with a detachable satellite, which I think is the coolest detail. Obviously, Obi-Wan used it in the film in Geonosis, so it's just really nice that they included it. My only issue with that, at least until we see the set of course, is I wonder whether or not you'll be able to place it somewhere in the set where you're not using it. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of chuck that somewhere and never use it again. But hopefully you could like detach it and like disassemble it and put it into like a spare parts thing. I feel like that would be really cool, because of course Obi-Wan does use those spare parts in the film. Now I will give a quick spoiler warning for the next set because it is based on Obi-Wan Kenobi. However, if you have been somewhat following the show, you should know about this, so it's not that bad, but I will just warn you just in case you don't want anything ruined. Basically, the next setup is set 75334. This is Obi-Wan vs Darth Vader with 408 pieces retailing for $50 and coming out August 1st. So this set is said to be obviously that scene that we've seen in concept art, which promobricks described as presumably Mustafar, which is big, but it also could be a factory setting. That's at least in their words. However, if you've of course seen the concept art, you can make your own assumptions. The build is said to be a roughly 30 studs wide diorama of mostly grey bricks, presumably dark grey, and a lot of trans orange cheese wedges. However, they do say that this is not one of the 18 plus diorama sets, this is its own thing. In terms of additional details, apparently a small yellow pallet truck is used to transport some lava and some brown bricks, and could be what they say a smelting furnace. But basically the truck can be blasted as a play function, and of course 2 turntables are included at the bottom of the build for Obi-Wan and Darth Vader to of course duel. And apparently the set can be opened in the middle. I don't know what that means, and that'll let through a lava flow. So I thought of that as somewhat split in half, maybe on a hinge plate. I guess we'll have to wait and see for that one. That sounds pretty interesting though. Overall, the set sounds very much like a playset, and I heavily doubt it will be good for display, but it does sound interesting. And of course, I'll go to the figures now. So of course, Obi-Wan Kenobi is included, and he is said to have a printed cloak and a new mullet hairpiece. Vader is also included, both of those seem pretty obvious. Imperial Officer Tala Durith is included, which is the first time. This is actually our first name of Indira Varma's character, which is interesting. Who is this person here? And then also Ned B is included, who is this droid from the first trailer. I'm very interested in seeing how LEGO tackles Ned. I presume that the mold will be similar to K2SO and not like a minifigure, because that I think makes the most sense. Then again, we haven't really seen much of the droid, so we can't really speak. Overall though, this set sounds pretty interesting for $50. Next up is set 75335 BD1 with 1062 pieces retailing for $100 and releasing on August 1st. Now this is basically part of the buildable droids line, and it represents BD1. That's pretty much all we need to know, but there are a few interesting details. The height is said to be 31 centimeters tall, which is honestly taller than I was expected. That's pretty much a whole 10 centimeters taller than the Grogu one was, which is honestly quite insane. So BD1 is meant to be pretty huge. Of course, this is our first ever LEGO set based on the 2019 game Jedi Fallen Order, slightly in line with the sequel, which should be coming out next year. Obviously the set would be better next year, but maybe we'll be getting more sets next year, we'll have to wait and see. Overall, this set is meant to have, of course, a turnable head and movable legs, which is all pretty expected. I presume that like those kind of antenna things on the top will also move, and maybe you'll somewhat be able to move the eye. I'm sure that'll be an unintended function, and I presume that the feet will also have some small level of posability. Of course, the BD1 figure from the M1 Starfighter is included, and of course it sits on a data plate. It seems obvious, but I will just state that this will have the white and red markings, which is pretty much the basic one, but in the game there was a level of customization, so I will just mention that, and I presume that no, you won't be able to customize it unless you of course use your own parts. So I think the coolest detail in the set is that there is a small compartment in the head where 3 stim canisters are, which if you played the game you know what they are. Basically they heal you, and BD1 just shoots them out of his head. Really, really good detail. I love that that's included. They really didn't have to, but I honestly just think that's great. Now this will sound weird, but something that I'm really excited for this set is the box art. Now as far as we know, LEGO has kind of been copying Black Series with their box art, at least for each film having like a different colored stripe and a character in the corner. Now, presumably that will be slightly different and there will be a few inconsistencies, but since the set does not align with any movies, it would have to have one specific to Jedi Fallen Order, and I doubt that BD1 would be used there, so I feel like a Lego Cal Kestis could be shown off there, and then if he is shown off, that'll pretty much confirm more Jedi Fallen Order sets, especially ones with Cal Kestis, which is great. As for like the colored stripe, I presume it would be in line with like the Gaming Greats thing, and that could be what this set is under, which is like a light blue stripe. I think that would fit quite well. Then again, they could change the character into the corner to something a bit more vague, something that could fit a lot of games. I'll try to speed up now, but set 75336 is going to be the Inquisitor Scythe Transport with 924 pieces, retailing for $100 and releasing on August 1st. This set is of course based on Obi-Wan Kenobi. No spoilers here because it's like heavily featured in all the trailers, but 4 minifigures are meant to be included, being 3 Inquisitors, which is great. So that's the Grand Inquisitor, who will have a chest plate and a cape, Reva, who will have a cape, and then the 5th brother, who will have his chest plate. Then Obi-Wan Kenobi will be included, however it's a different variant, this time with that kind of blue outfit that he has on Tatooine. Set is obviously based on the Inquisitor ship that we have seen so much of in marketing. It looks really cool. The set's meant to have movable wings and an interior. That's kind of all we know, but pretty much the Republic Bricks model is kind of the size that I'll be expecting for this set. Overall, this sounds pretty cool, but of course we'll have to see Obi-Wan Kenobi first to see how it pans out. And for the most anticipated set 75337, the ATTE, with 1,082 pieces retailing for $140 USD, releasing on August 1st. Now, I think it's appropriate that I talk about the minifigures first, because finally we're getting a Phase 2 Commander Cody. Of course, the set is based on the Battle of Utapau, thanks to some previous rumors from Greek Bricks and Republic Studs, so that's of course great to hear. But in addition to Phase 2 Cody, which by the way is meant to be highly detailed, he'll have feet printing, hip printing, leg printing, no arm printing though. That's of course fine, but interesting thing there. Also no backpack, it's just meant to be printed on the back, which is kind of expected. That's what they did for the Bad Batch, so no real surprise there. But the interesting thing is that he does have his orange visor, and that a new Phase 2 helmet is actually being made, and it will also be used for the other clone troopers in the set, because 3 212th troopers are included, and it doesn't specify any airbornes, so I presume that this is just 212th troopers, which is great. That is really great to hear. I'm very interested in seeing those. Interestingly, a clone gunner is also included, which is great, as well as 3 battle droids, which is honestly quite a lot for this set, and then just a dwarf spider droid. Interestingly, there is no Obi-Wan Kenobi or even Grievous included, so that's kind of sad, but the build sounds great. So it's meant to be very similar to the 2013 version, which is obviously fine. It is meant to have interior, no details there. But overall, the legs and feet are meant to be different, meant to be both a lot smaller, and the satellite dishes are meant to just be round plates, so that's interesting. However, you may think this is bad, but according to promobricks, it looks like a slightly stronger and more massive build, so that is very good to hear. I'm very excited for this set. It sounds great. Still kind of disappointed it's not based off, of course, Attack of the Clones, but I will definitely take a Phase 2 Cody any day. Final set with some interesting details is the Andor set, which we now know is sadly not a U-Wing, but it will be the Andor spaceship and speeder bike set 75338. Don't know the piece count, but it will be $70 USD and presumably a store exclusive. Promobricks does say that they do know the full content of the set, but they're basically not able to share it, and this is kind of what they can say without spoilers. So basically included is a small spaceship, which reminds us of the Starhopper set, which is a Clone Wars set. I'm not going to read the whole name, obviously, but you might know what it is. It was a weird set that kind of came with Rako Hardeen and Cad Bane. It looks kind of weird, but it's kind of cool. And you could also call it a folded gunship with upturned wings, so that's probably the best description there. The ship is completely grey and has yellow details that are displayed using stickers, which will remind us of course, the Razor Crest and the M1 Starfighter. And also a sand-coloured speeder bike is included. So the set has 3 minifigures, being one figure dressed completely in blue and with a blue cap, which is meant to be similar to the Bespin Guard. I presume it's not though. A second character with a beige coat and a blonde hairstyle with a receding hairline, which is close to Tobias Beckett's minifigure. Again, not Tobias Beckett because he's dead by the time of the show. And finally a figure with a full brown beard, a serious black hairpiece, and basically who they assume is going to be Cassian Andor. So very interesting there. Cool that we are kind of getting details on Cassian's appearance in the show too. But the other two figures, I presume that the one with the receding hairline is male, and otherwise I don't really know, but I guess I presume it would be male. So other than that, I guess we don't really know. The article does mention the advent calendar, however they don't give any new details than what we already knew, so it's basically still all the details we knew, with 3 figures being the Christmas C-3PO, Christmas R2-D2, and Hoth Luke. They do again say that there are more included, but that's all they know so far. Finally, I will point out that nowhere does the article mention the Obi-Wan and Darth Vader brickheads, so seemingly these are either just a weird store exclusive that they haven't got a report on, or they're not happening. Again, they were originally rumored for May, but of course that came and passed. So I will still presume August, because of course we did get the Mando and Child brickheads in 2020 in August. So if this set is coming, I will presume that it will come out in August. Anyways, that set doesn't particularly matter because of all the other great sets we are getting. So please let me know your thoughts down below. Which one are you most excited for? Again, sorry for the ridiculously long news video. This has turned into kind of just a recap video. So kind of everything we know except just all the new information. So truly sorry guys, but I do hope that you guys have enjoyed it, if of course you've stayed for the whole 16 minutes. However, yeah, that'll be all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. That'll be all folks. Goodbye.